The Crisis of Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, MMIW. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're addressing a devastating crisis that's been ongoing for far too long: the disappearance and murder of Indigenous women and girls. Their stories remain untold, their voices silenced, and for far too long their cases go unreported, underreported, or dismissed altogether. This is not just a tragic reality, it's a systemic failure that has long ignored the Indigenous communities of this country. The issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women is one of the most overlooked crises in the United States. Indigenous women and girls face murder rates 10 times higher than the national average, yet their cases are often ignored or minimized by the authorities. As of 2023, 5,800 Indigenous women and girls were reported missing, and shockingly, 74% of them were children. These numbers are staggering, but the true scale of the crisis is likely even worse because many cases are never properly documented or investigated. What makes this situation even more dire is the underreporting and lack of proper documentation. It's estimated that 50 to 70% of MMIW cases are not properly recorded or are misclassified in databases. Many of these disappearances are never categorized as missing Indigenous women, which distorts the true scale of the problem. Law enforcement agencies are often failing to take these cases seriously, leading to delays in investigations and further victimization of Indigenous families. One major obstacle in resolving these cases is the complex jurisdictional issues between state, federal, and tribal authorities. Crimes committed on tribal lands often fall under different rules, making it harder for law enforcement to investigate thoroughly. This has led to a lack of accountability and failure to prioritize these cases, even as the bodies of Indigenous women and girls are found or continue to go missing. Certain regions in the United States are more vulnerable than others. Alaska, for instance, has the highest rates of missing Indigenous women, particularly in the rural and isolated communities. The state of Montana is another hotspot where Indigenous women make up a staggering percentage of missing persons cases. Other high-risk locations, including New Mexico, South Dakota, Washington, and Oregon, all of which have reported alarming statistics related to MMIW. These areas have been under constant pressure due to both systemic neglect and a lack of resources to investigate these crimes properly. What's particularly disturbing is that many of these cases involve non-native predators, and Indigenous women and girls are often targeted in these rural and isolated areas. As the cases continue to rise, it's clear that the legal system and law enforcement are failing to provide the support and resources needed to protect Indigenous communities. The silence from authorities leaves these women vulnerable to violence, exploitation, and abuse, with very little accountability. This is not just a Native issue. It's a national crisis that demands urgent action. We need legislation that ensures accurate reporting and tracking of all missing Indigenous persons. We need better training for law enforcement to understand the unique challenges facing Indigenous communities. Most importantly, we need a national reckoning that recognizes the lives of Indigenous women and girls as valuable and worthy of protection and justice. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. This crisis can no longer be ignored. If you believe in justice and accountability, please share this video, raise awareness, and support organizations working to protect Indigenous communities. Together we can demand justice and change for the women and girls who have been silenced for far too long. Until next time.